Now, it's been under blockade by its Arab neighbours for more than 6 months, but the tiny Gulf emirate of Qatar is moving rapidly to stock up its military, and it's spending a lot of cash to do so. It's signed a contract over the weekend with the UK to buy 24 Typhoon fighter jets for $6.7 billion. Last week, it agreed to buy 12 Rafale fighter jets from France for $1 billion. That's on top of a deal worth $12 billion already in place since May 2015. Qatar is also negotiating another agreement worth $1.8 billion to buy infantry combat vehicles. In August, Qatar bought 7 naval warships from Italy at a price tag of nearly $6 billion. It's a trend that's continued in recent years. According to the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, Qatar's military purchases increased by 282% between 2012 and 2016. The Gulf state is now the third largest arms importer in the world, behind Saudi Arabia and India, according to the UK's Department of International Trade. So let's bring in our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas in Paris. Craig, great to have you as always. Let's talk about what Qatar has been up to. How does Qatar's military spending compare to its neighbours on a GDP basis?
Well, right now it's number 3 with a bullet behind Oman and Saudi Arabia. There's a real ramping up of what they like to call weapons systems because it makes the product sound more market friendly, but that's just a euphemism for they're buying themselves a lot of guns and ammo.
Do you think it's just playing catch up with its neighbours, or is this a buying spree in response to this blockade from Saudi Arabia?
I think it's a mixture of both. What it does, according to the analysts I've spoken to, is that it leaves a clear impression that the United States and the European Union intend to arm all the belligerents in the region to the teeth in order to assure the nonstop flow of oil and gas to the West. The logic, as I'm told, is to give them enough guns to ensure what we used to call mutually assured destruction, MAD, under the guise of fighting terrorism, of course. And if you arm both sides to the teeth, well, it's going to prevent war because everyone's going to have the same amount of weapons. That was the same kind of logic that led to the guns of August in World War I, the unfolding of miscalculations.
We should always learn from our history lessons, shouldn't we, Craig? Do you think Qatar can afford to be spending this much at this time?
The honest answer to that, Azar, is we don't know because Qatar's books are secret. Every number we read about how much is in Qatar's sovereign wealth fund or in their pockets or how they're leveraged, it's all a guesstimate, so we really don't know. What we do know, what we can say, is that France, now has a $7 billion arms deal with Qatar, and Qatar has $10 billion worth of investments in France. So whatever the bottom line on the books is, they're doing nice structured deals with their Western partners to ensure that the flow of gas and oil keeps going to the West and that Qatari investment from gas and oil goes to Western countries. And this is the core of the diplomatic game right now, because Trump is isolated. He's got a demoralized diplomatic corps, and he's dismantling the international relations one tweet at a time.
Craig Copetas in Paris, thank you so much.